All right, welcome back, everybody, to the deep dive. We've got a really interesting one today.
Yeah.
So today we're going all the way back to 1998.
Wow.
Yeah, 98.
Okay.
We're diving into Wei Dai's B-money proposal. He
Ah.
shared this on the famous cypherpunk mailing list.
Right.
I guess our main goal today is to just try to understand, like, how did people even start thinking about anonymous digital cash?
That's a great question. It's kind of crazy to think that, this idea even predates Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But it really came out of this cypherpunk movement, which was all about, privacy and cryptography and how do we empower individuals in this digital world.
Right, right.
And specifically, they were really interested in this idea of, digital cash. How do we have cash that's free from any kind of central authority?
Okay, so that's the context. Like that's where this is all coming from.
Yeah.
But what about B-money itself? Like
Sure.
what was Wei Dai actually trying to do here?
So in the simplest terms, he was trying to create a digital currency that could operate completely without banks
Wow.
or any kind of intermediary.
Okay.
So people could transact directly with each other anonymously and securely.
So completely different from how, finance worked back then.
Totally. Huge departure.
Yeah. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting.
Right.
He actually proposed two different versions of B-money.
Yeah, that's right.
So tell me about those.
Okay, so the first version, he imagined a system with a trusted server
Mm.
that would basically keep track of everybody's balances.
Still digital.
Yeah, still digital,
Right.
but there's this central point of control.
Right, right.
But then he came up with this second version, and that's the one that was truly groundbreaking.
Yeah.
This one was fully decentralized. So instead of a server,
Okay.
it would be a network of participants who all maintain a shared record of all the transactions.
So like a communal ledger kind of.
Exactly. And this is where we start to see the early seeds of, what would become the blockchain.
Gotcha. So how would this decentralized version actually work?
Like, how would everyone stay on the same page without that central server?
Right, right.
Well, it's actually pretty clever.
Okay.
So the idea was everyone in the network keeps their own database of all the transactions.
Mm.
And to create new money, individuals would have to perform these really computationally intensive tasks,
Okay.
like solving really complex math problems that require a lot of computing power.
Oh, okay.
And this work would basically serve as proof that new currency should be created.
Got it.
It's kind of like, I guess, mining in Bitcoin, right?
Oh,
You
okay.
have to expend real resources to get new coins.
I see. So there's a real cost involved in creating new money.
Exactly.
So it wasn't just like poof, magic internet money.
No, not at all.
Okay.
And this cost was actually a really important part of the system.
How so?
Well, it helped to prevent fraud,
Okay.
and it also helped to keep inflation in check.
Right, because you can't just create a ton of new money out of thin air.
Exactly.
So it was a system designed to be self-regulating.
Yeah, self-regulating and secure,
Very interesting.
without any kind of central authority to enforce the rules.
Yeah. It seems so ahead of its time, but if it's so brilliant, why didn't it ever, actually take off?
Right, so it was really more of a theoretical framework. It was never fully implemented,
Okay.
and there were some key challenges, some hurdles they never quite figured out.
Like what?
Well, one big one was how to keep all those distributed ledgers in sync.
Ah, right, because you got to make sure everyone has the same transaction history.
Exactly.
But how do you do that without a central coordinator?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And the proposal also didn't really address how to resolve disputes between participants in this, trustless environment.
Yeah, okay. So B-money never quite made it to the real world,
Right.
but it's pretty clear that it had a huge influence, right? I mean, Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin, directly referenced B-money.
Oh, yeah. He specifically called it out in the early Bitcoin white paper. And he actually even reached out to Wei Dai before Bitcoin launched.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. So, the core concepts of a distributed ledger and using computational work to secure the network,
Yeah.
those ideas were directly inspired by B-money.
So it was a vital stepping stone toward, what we see today.
For sure. And I think it highlights that even theoretical ideas can have a massive real-world impact,
Right.
even if they're just shared within a small community online.
Right.
It's amazing how these ideas can evolve in such unexpected ways.
Yeah. From like a mailing list post to a global technology. Pretty wild.
It is.
So I guess the takeaway here is, pay attention to the the seemingly abstract ideas being discussed today.
Hmm.
Because who knows, maybe one of those is going to turn into, like, the next Bitcoin.
Yeah, what's that next big thing hiding in plain sight?
That's right, maybe on some random internet forum somewhere.
Exactly. Who knows?
Well, on that note, we'll wrap it up for today. See you next time on The Deep Dive.
See you later.